Hi guys, welcome to Life Success. Today I want to talk about basically not sweating the big stuff. Why? Because life is like a wave ocean that is a test for us. Why? These challenges that we face in today's society is actually challenges that is going to give us growth, make us feel like we're growing as a person and we're expanding our knowledge in today's world. So, have you experienced something that has made you struggle with a certain situation in your life? Because I have been through it. I have lost 2 siblings to suicide. I've had a family member die from cancer more than once. And I've had a family member who was in hospital for over 10 months with cancer. And the person survived it. They're still here. They're still with me. So that's a bonus. But we are struggling with reality of things now, where it's a battle. We are struggling with our inner self about situations, experiences, and of course, we struggle with how people treat us. And that can happen too. So if you have been bullied by someone, then obviously bullying is something that you need to think about. How can you impact somebody else's life in that situation? Because of course, when we do inspire other people, we tend to actually feel like we're impacting the world. And this is a great thing because I feel as a coach, I'm inspiring others to live their fullest life to the fullest, completely like a cup overflowing, basically. So when you've had experiences, say, like what I've had is my marriage went downhill, it crashed and burned, but I learnt to pick myself up and carry on. I've been 6 years sorted. Pick me up, pick myself up and carry on. You know, things like that matter. So when you go through these experiences, you tend to actually use them as a tool to help other people, because when we are looking for something, we are looking for an inspiration to live our life to the fullest. So have you had a situation in your life that seems to go bang, bang, bang all at once? It's like piling up over the top of everything and you get so overwhelmed you explode. I've had that. I know how it feels. It is torture, right? So when I went through that, I managed to do the right thing by actually taking care of myself, looking after myself, and making sure my emotions are intact, and kind of, understanding this is not your fault. This is not your fault in this universe. It happens so that we can learn these experiences, a lesson from them. And this is a powerful lesson to learn. If we don't learn them, who are we as a person, right? So that makes us grow, that makes us have compassion for others, and it also helps us to understand what's going on with that other person and be compassionate that they're struggling with these difficulties themselves. So, for example, it could be a family member. I've had family members struggle and they don't admit it, they deny it. So they keep struggling. They struggle with money, they struggle with things, and then they keep building up. And these people do not, deal with it emotionally. And this is where it's important to have that lesson to teach us to have compassion, to, to love others unconditionally, and to be there for others when things happen to them. Like, for example, if somebody committed suicide, I'm willing to support that person because I know how it feels. I know the pain that goes with it. I recently had an anniversary of one of my brother's passings, and it was challenging, emotional, and yeah, I miss him a lot as a person and human being. And there are times where, I know that his spirit is always going to be with me. And, the universe has your back, really. Speaking the truth, it has your back. So He was with me spiritually. He's always with me. There's some spirit that's always there to help you, protect you. So realistically, they've gone to a better place anyway. They're not in pain, they're not suffering, they're not emotionally screwed up in their mind. So you just got to do the work in order to live your life to the fullest. And this is where I'm trying to do what's right for me personally. No matter what the doctor says to me, I'm doing what's important. This is where I learned the tools when it came to life coaching and when it came to helping myself. Because no counselor was doing the work, was making the effort to help me to learn these tools. So I found a way of doing them myself, and this is what I want to teach you guys, and this is why I am a life coach for a reason. So I'm doing something that's going to inspire you, to get you motivated to do something about your life. So I have epilepsy. I live with it every single day of my life. Some days I'm good and some days I'm not, and there are days where I'm not motivated at all. Like, I'm in the dumps. I've felt like unpleasant feelings, and the drugs do that to you. They make you feel unpleasant and not like you're helping yourself. You feel like you're in a rut, and this is where people don't always understand. It's the drugs that do it to you sometimes, and it doesn't make you feel like you want to do anything for yourself. You're not helping yourself out of the rut. You feel miserable. You feel like crap, right? So this is why I took action to do what's important for my body. Got plenty of sleep. Sleep is important for our brains, right? And when you're in a nervous situation, take time to breathe, right? Take time to relax, meditate on a daily basis. It has been an important part, because if I don't have meditation, I would struggle. So it's a power struggle that we have. So knowing, listening to your body, what your body's needs are, and knowing that when you feel like your body's slowing down, you need to take time out. Simple as that, right? You need to look after your needs. And for me, I need to have time to myself and kind of just go completely away from everyone and just relax, fully in full relaxation mode. And so I like to go cafes and chill out, and have a good coffee. And sometimes I meet people randomly at cafes. And of course, that's good for the human connection. To be able to embrace that's important for those who struggle to get out and meet people. So, but there are always going to be trials, there's always going to be challenges along the way. And how we embrace these challenges is write down in your journal and answer these questions. What is it that's holding me back? Why is it that it's the difficult situation? I've got a thing that I found recently, and it really inspired me. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And of course, my favorite book of all things, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's basically from Richard Carlson, and the author of Handbook of the Soul. And this one talks about life as a test. It's only a test, right? So whatever experience we go through, it's just a test to help us grow. So in real life, we have challenges, and that happens. It's reality. So have you been bombarded with problems, responsibilities, and stuff like that? That's normal. And when we struggle with these, it says here in this book, you see each new issue you face as a serious battle that must be won in order to survive, right? So this is fight or flight mode, as we call it. So you're probably in a very rocky journey. Everybody goes through that. I've had that since I was young, since I was 10 years old, and it's continued right throughout my life, and it has been challenging. So for the other hand, you see the new issue you face, and you face it with gratitude involved in this. So writing down the positive things in your life. What can you find positive each day? And of course, the only time you're likely to be happy, right, is when things are working out just right. And that doesn't always work, because it's always going to be something that comes along, right? And life is an experiment, and we can apply the idea. However, this is forced to deal with perhaps a difficult teenager or a demanding boss and stuff like that. Things like that in general. So whatever problem that you have to be tested, rather than struggling with your issue and stuff, right? See if there's something you can learn from it and grow as a person. Maybe a family member's been bugging you and hassling you, and they won't leave you alone, and maybe they need a lesson themselves and take a good look at their own issue in their life. They're not always there to see everything that happens to you on a daily basis, so they need to realize that. And that's not always easy to get them to understand that. So, when it comes to situations, perceptions of not having enough time, all that sort of jazz, would rush around trying to find everything to get done and all that sort of stuff. And when we're not in the right frame of mind, we're not organized and all that, we struggle. It's a power struggle. So, how can we get out of that power struggle? So, what can you do to write in your journal today, right? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now what you can write down. Okay, 1. Why is this an issue in your life or my life? Next question, what would it mean and what would it be involved to rise above it? So what would involve you rising above the situation? How can you do it and why? How can you basically rise above this experience that you are having right now? How can we rise above the negativity that we are experiencing currently? Like my thought patterns, this is where CBT comes into it, of course, conjunctive behavioral therapy. So I've had to do it myself on a daily basis, and this is where we change our thought patterns in our minds, how we perceive things, how we perceive ourselves. So if you're struggling with your situation, you need to think positively about your situation. And writing down these things is important in a journal and actually looking back on them. What would it mean? This is another question. What would it mean and what would it be involved in rising above everything? And could it be possible to look at the issue any differently? How can you see it differently? Can I see it as a test or something else of some kind? Because these ocean waves are experiences that we face on a daily basis. These are all tests to see if you can be any stronger than you already are. Can you face them? Can you face these things or people that are nagging you and making you feel miserable? So these are the things that you need to ask yourself in order to deal with it. So this is why CBT Circle is so handy, and that we are able to actually face it in a different way. So if this is happening to you, try this tool and see how you go. And keep doing it every day, and hold on to a rock or something and just say out loud your gratitude, and you'll feel the magic change dramatically. I hope this serves you guys. Have an awesome day.